So, do you find yourself relying on willpower to help you stop binge eating? But here's the thing, willpower will not help you stop binge eating. It's really overrated, and you're doing yourself a disservice if you believe it will. So hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Vanessa McLennan, and on here we talk about all things the psychology to do with binge eating, overeating and weight loss. And so today I'm going to talk to you about why willpower is overrated for binge eating and weight loss, and what else you can use instead to help you stop the binge eating. So what is willpower? Well, willpower is the ability to say no in the short term, to, resist all temptation. So many times I hear clients saying they'd be able to stop binge eating if only they had more willpower. And the perception that, they have is that anybody else who doesn't binge eat has more willpower than them. They are stronger. They can resist this urge. What do they have that I don't have? I just need more willpower. And that is a complete fallacy. Think of willpower like, a pot of reserve or something that when you need to use it, it is there for you. But the more that you keep using it again and again, you're going to deplete your reserves, and it is there for emergencies only. But you do have willpower, but it's not for everyday use. I've read in studies that people who believed that they had more willpower didn't actually have more or less than anybody else. But what they did have was the ability to plan, to think forwards, and to just map out their way of living so that they didn't actually have to dip into their willpower. Inject fun into it. So those people in the study who said that they actually had more willpower used it less, but what they did have was a lot of fun and enjoyment in their life. So they created that lifestyle where healthy was actually enjoyable, where exercising was enjoyable. And so how can you make exercise for you part of your routine, but it's enjoyable? So it's not a chore to, go to the gym, or where can you walk on a regular basis that's lovely? How can you make it a competition for yourself, for instance? So what foods can you experiment with? What can you buy each week at the supermarket that you can try? Something from the fruit and vegetables section. And fruit is the easiest way to bring in stuff rather than constantly trying to cut it out. What can you bring in to try to inject, more flavor into your diet, to put into your cooking, or to try on the side? So it just becomes, a curious, investigative way of life where you can go, oh, what can we try this week? Because then the more that, again, you're focusing on, oh, what can we do? What can we, bring in that's exciting? What is fun? We are no longer having to reach to the depths of ourselves to go, our final reserve to stop us from doing something, because we are focused on the positive, the long term, and what it is that we do want. So focus on long-term goals. When we are focusing on the long term and on the positive, so it's always something that we want to get to, it keeps our focus on the bigger picture as opposed to the short term. And when we are focused on that longer term, it helps us to, abstain or restrain ourselves in some way. Now, I'm not talking about being overly restrictive with ourselves, because that causes us, again, to binge. It's actually just perhaps cutting back, or cutting back in smaller ways, so that we can focus on what's really important to us in the longer term. So focus on and think of some goals that you do want and put them in the positive. So rather than, I don't want to binge eat anymore, it's I want to eat perhaps in a more balanced way. I want to eat in a healthier way. I want to weigh X amount, for instance. And then you can start thinking, well, what do I need to do to get there? What behaviours do I need to do? And think again, what do I need to do, as opposed to what do I need to stop doing? So you're focusing all the time on the positives within you, and the longer term goal, and what little steps you can do to get to that longer term. So what can you avoid? When you pair this with a longer term goal of what it is that you do want to do, you can think about what you need to avoid in the short term to help you reach your goal. And this is where also planning comes into it. So it might be that you avoid buying those, chocolate, sweets, crisps. And so that might mean planning your supermarket route a bit better so that you avoid going down those aisles. It might be that you avoid keeping those sorts of things at home or at an eye level height. You've got to keep them somewhere, that you can't easily grab into, or just not buy them altogether. So again, what other planning perhaps around your kitchen as to where to store these things do you need to do? So you see, it's not just totally restricting, it's actually thinking about a plan B, an alternative to help you avoid this situation. So I hope that helps. Let me know in the comments below, and thank you.